is what style is the map going to be dictating? Palm Bay Harbor, so we're going back here.
Run it back, baby. All right. Well, because I mean, both these teams, you got to think, both these teams must have seen the last match. So I'm wondering, you know, do they try to follow in the footsteps of Reject, which I think that was a pretty awesome strategy, right? Like running the super heavy tank on the cart.
Wow.
Instant Inferno, man.
That's weird.
All right,
Hey.
LUNABREAK. They don't want to mess with the Inferno. I mean, Inferno may be one of the few damage-dealing strikers that could punish a grouped-up, like, tanky setup. But the Luminate ban comes in from Team Tide, you know, already this early. Without Luminate on the field, I think things really change. We've seen some teams go with the Panaka as a backup supporting option. We've also seen in Scrim, some teams just electing to not run a support may not be necessary with the tankiness of something like Stego and Tricera.
I'm seeing double Panaka right now, and I'm also seeing Narukami out of LUNABREAK. Now, I expected to see it out of Team Tai, but they've gone with the Aquila instead on Civ A. So it leaves me wondering, Rokoku going to be transitioning to the Elysnes. So interesting to note that on Team Tai, both of their sniper players are willing to off-roll onto Elysnes. That's their first pick, not the other sniper.
Yeah, interesting to see. So the big difference here in the composition really is sniper, right? Aquila versus Narukami.
Yeah.
Also, it's going to be Falcon versus Elysnes. So, you know, some different takes on the game here. LUNABREAK, I mean, the Falcon didn't really work for MDY on this map, right? Like, they were kind of shut down in the small rooms or struggling to have success. But LUNABREAK's unperturbed. You know, they're still a believer in this Falcon composition. I'm curious to see what Rokoku can get done on the Elysnes.
Moving over to the Stego as well. I'm actually surprised not to see, considering that I'm expecting that both these teams have watched the previous match. No Hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane was actually a really, really big pick for the Reject win just last round. Not seeing either team opt into it when Luminae's already been banned. Giving extra survivability to those tanks could actually be a deciding variable.
Could be. I mean, I think maybe you don't want to go too all in on that cart death ball strategy without the Luminae. Maybe the Luminae is a crucial factor there. As much as, you know, they're not necessarily the striker going to be dealing the most damage. They're key to sustaining that group of allies playing the objective. So maybe on this version of Palm Bay Harbor, we'll see a little bit more of those fights on the off angles, trying to control space for your Narukami or your Aquila, as the case may be.
Well, we're already starting things off. The doors are open. Palm Bay Harbor has begun. And we've got Neku already up in the sky. I'm expecting Neku to actually be a pretty active commer this game. And of course, whenever you've got your Tricera Stego, specifically for LUNABREAK, they should be doing very well. This team has done a great job of avoiding dying, so if they're able to keep that up in this round, especially for the first point, I think that'll be the big signal of success and a LUNABREAK that is ready to go all the way.
Man, Negukis is just pumping damage from all these flanks, but LUNABREAK has gone straight to this ultra high ground. Very different approach here. Tai trying to hold out in this corner, but they're really getting pummeled in this position. You see the damage starting to overwhelm them. LUNABREAK making an aggressive move in with the welcome box. It's a full commit here onto the objective. First pickoff does go the way of LUNABREAK, and they want to continue to pump this pressure. Elysnes also getting into the mix. This double melee setup particularly potent at punishing grouped up enemies.
We've still got a Narukami at distance as well, who is continually contributing to the fight. Chunks of damage over and over, and now the point is available. Whether or not we've seen a lot of kills, and we have seen a couple for LUNABREAK, the damage that they've done already should be enough to secure them the point, and they are piled on top of it. I am not seeing a way to uproot this team, especially now that the haste has come out, and they're so much more difficult to target.
Yeah,
Point gets capped.
It's a cleanup here. Team Tai are just routed here in the opening engagement, and LUNABREAK, I mean, they look so well prepared. Like, they just instantly went to that ultimate height position, started assaulting from all sides. Neku Exist was just pounding them with all of these sorties from the flyover. Arun with another pickoff. So Team Tai are really starting to stagger, and this is going to be a huge objective advantage. They're continuing to stagger into this engagement, but they're lacking a lot of team fight or team fight potential without their allies. And LUNABREAK are just pouncing on them, capitalizing on spawner after spawner. This is a domination so far.
Yeah, Panaka Wall's on top of the Tricera there, so punishing. And that is one of the things that Panaka, despite not being as popular, is still really good at, is punishing this Stego Tricera that otherwise can dominate a lot of maps. Right now, domination, absolutely something that LUNABREAK are giving out as Arun jumps right on top of yet another. And Civ A will go down. LUNABREAK 32% to the only 11% progress that Ty has been able to achieve so far.
And this is a bit of a beatdown. Still no pickoffs, I think, yet for Team Ty. LUNABREAK are running away with the game, continuing to pour the pressure on here. Narukami, as you mentioned, on Palm Bay Harbor, starting to get into the mix, being a bit of that aggressive sniper. Tricera as well, coming into the engagement. So while LUNABREAK get further and further ahead, they're just not allowing Ty to make any kind of progress at all. It's like defense on the capture point as well.
Like literally no problem. They're sitting on the cart. They are taking it back, and that's all well. LUNABREAK are simultaneously capturing the second point.
Team Ty are just, they're totally out of sorts here. They're not really able to get in this engagement at all. They're reversing the enemy cart back. At this point, I think Team Ty, they've got to hit a full regroup, but it seems like the coordination is not there, and Neku exists. I mean, he's running rampant in this game, crushing the skies on this Falcon. Civ A just running for the hills, but I think he's not long for this world, not with the help of Narukami there. Laura shuts it down, and I mean, 46-9. This game is out of control here, Dia.
And what I would give to hear Neku Exists comms right now. I know, again, mentioning it at the start, that this can be an extremely active player in the communications department, and I am sure that this game, it is going absolutely wild as the fight is still happening at spawn. Ty have not been able to leave the starting area because LUNABREAK are continuing to put so much pressure on them, and they're picking up kills while doing it in not even a 6v6.
They're getting annihilated. Finally, they're able to get the cart up this lift, but the advantage is so intensely against them, and I mean, the fact that they're able to do this with players on the objective. LUNABREAK are fighting essentially a 5-on-6 right now, and they are crushing it. Still not losing players. Seems like this Tricera is about to go down on the objective, so the capture progress is going to be stopped. And, I mean, this doesn't look fair, Dia. LUNABREAK setting the tone here in our second series of the day.
I mean, this is why we were looking at them as such a favored team. It's because of the ability to play like this. They have lost almost no one. In fact, I can't even remember.
I think it's
when,
done. I think they have not died yet.
I cannot remember a time when the kill feed showed LUNABREAK going down.
It's like Rokoku, he's out on the map. He's trying to get something. No, he's gone. He's not doing anything. And another capture comes in. At this point, Ty struggling, flailing here, trying to come into the fight, but it's one by one. Felt like with every pickoff, LUNABREAK has just continued to pour on the pressure. They're not allowing Ty to get back into the fight whatsoever.
And you've got to appreciate the work and passion that LUNABREAK have put into being able to basically run this team like a well-oiled machine, or in this particular case, Striker, because they've not missed a beat. Ty, I mean,
pack it up.
Yeah,
pack it up.
I think you're looking at game 2, and you're going, well, what are we going to do there? By no fault of your own, LUNABREAK, they had this downloaded.
I mean, this looks like a serious team to beat here in the overall tournament. I mean, it's just the first round, but this is one of the most dominant series I've seen anywhere. You know, even in ranked games, this is just a brutal beatdown, 90-30. Kind of no contest here for Team Ty. They've just been scrapped over and over again, not able to get into the fight whatsoever. And that's the reality here at the Global Invitational. We've got teams like LUNABREAK who have come together for the competition, right? Here to be some of the best in the game as they look to close out here on Palm Bay Harbor. Desperation for Ty, welcome box on the objective, but Tricera just running it home, getting it done. That's going to be the map here. LUNABREAK up 1-0. And you got to think, going into map 2, the wind is out of your sails for Ty.
I mean, you've got to be, I think, appreciative, even as Ty, for what LUNABREAK were just able to do. Really impressive round by them. And I think you're right. Wind out of your sails a little bit, but because of the way that LUNABREAK, the whole community here have been playing, I know that Ty and LUNABREAK have scrimmed. And I know that Ty probably saw this game coming. We're going Palm Bay Harbor. You know what we're running into. They probably tried something that was a little bit new, and it might not have worked for them, but I won't say that should shut Ty down by any means. I'd expect them to still have relatively high spirits, although it's a tough start to the tournament. It's not like they didn't see this coming.
You know, I appreciate the cope, Dia, but this is some intense copium. They did not get a single kill. They got outskilled. They got smoked. I mean, you can call it how you want, man. LUNABREAK are running away with this. I mean, it's a 1-0, sure. If you've got like the mental of the gods, you can reset after not finding a single kill on map 1. But Team Ty just looked out of sorts, staggering back into the fight. That's one of the challenges, right, at this level of play, is you got to have the discipline sometimes. Okay, we got wiped. We're down 3 or 4 players. Just stop coming to the engagement. Just reset. Just try to stabilize. And I felt like they weren't able to get that done. The fact that LUNABREAK is able to continue finding more and more pickoffs despite essentially committing a player to the card who's completely out of the engagement. They're just winning an engagement with down numbers, which is kind of a wild thing to be doing right now at this level of Mecha Break.
Yeah, and one of the things that I do think that TIE, it's difficult because it feels like it comes at a cost, but what they should have done is delay their spawns, because going back into the fight one by one did let the entirety of LUNABREAK operate as two separate teams, because you were never fighting a 3v6. You were fighting basically an ongoing 3v3 with people spawning in, spawning out, and that got really tough. So maybe TIE taking a bit of a step back and respawning all at the same time, getting into an engagement where they can take a really definitive numbers advantage instead of piling into a fight that's already lost and lost and lost.
I was also impressed with LUNABREAK, how they just, I mean, their read of the map clearly is so strong. They're like instantly running for that high ground, right? Like immediately off the rip, they know where they're going to go. They've clearly pre-planned, choreographed their rollout on the map. And that really speaks to a level of preparation that is going to potentially carry them far in this tournament. You've got to understand in each of these 5 different maps, different objectives, different, competitive realities. They look like a team that has really drilled on that. They're really dialed on, okay, like, this is how we're going to get it done. This is how we win this map. Whereas a lot of these other teams probably focused on, okay, like, how do we fight? How do we play together? Those things felt just obvious or pre-practiced for LUNABREAK, that they don't even need to necessarily think about that. They're already thinking in the terms of grand strategy. Okay, how are we going to approach this objective? How are we going to, fight on this part of the map? And then I think at some point in that map, they just realized, you know what? We don't need to calm so much. I think we just do our thing. I think we just start poke firing a couple, pickoffs here and there. But LUNABREAK, a lot of versatility, a lot of aggression here in map 1.
I'm feeling good about calling them probably the best team out of Japan previously.
Yeah, it's looking like a very reasonable prediction. Who do you think though? Who do you think's the MVP?
Who do you think the MVP? I kind of want to Falcon it. I feel like Neku Exist probably got that. Actually, that's tough. Because payload progress, I never thought that I would be at the same table as you, having you take the Narukami.
Narukami was racking it up.
Oh, yeah.
For the kills. No, I mean, all right. Maybe the objective was worth a lot, but that was a lot of kills for Narukami. A lot of finish burst. I don't know. Kind of a believer.
Okay, actually, speaking of the Narukami, it was interesting to watch this game as a counterpoint to how this went last game between Reject and MDY, because we saw, maybe without the Hurricane, but we saw TIE basically run the same positioning strategy that Reject did in our last round, and we saw how LUNABREAK responded to that by taking a lot of supremacy in the high ground and not just piling in at the end, but instead spreading out around the rafters and basically saying, well, okay, you're going to be in this corner. We might not be able to take you out of that, but we can make it a very uncomfortable place to be.
Yeah, the way Neku Exist was just pouring on the damage from Falcon. They're hitting from all sides, really utilizing the Narukami as well in that situation. And you're showing that, yeah, you can run that bunker, but maybe a team like LUNABREAK is more well-versed in how to break it. Thinking about going into the next map, the Lumine ban is off the table now, so I think that it makes sense, I guess, for Team TIE to be attacking the Lumine with how much of a mainstay it is. I guess it does really change the game a lot when you take Lumine out.
Yeah.
And so maybe that was your hope, to put LUNABREAK off kilter, to really just throw a huge wrench in the works. However, it just didn't seem to phase them. I feel like they were ready to just go to the Panaka. They were ready with the backup strategy that didn't look like a backup. Looked like a plan A to me.
Yeah,
it looked pretty good on map 1.
Yeah, I mean, I would also be afraid of Kurosa's Lumine. Is probably one of the 3 players here that made me go, oh, this is a very, very high APM support. This is somebody who really can be doing a lot more for the team than sitting back and passively healing. So Kurosa's Lumine, to be feared, probably to be seen in the next round. I don't suspect that they'll be staying on the Panaka as well as round 1 went. Also, Inferno Unleashed. I was surprised to see LUNABREAK taking the Inferno away when I know very well that they've got an Inferno player. So just to see that coming in round 2, I think maybe looking for a more wide open map to use Inferno on. And I wouldn't mind if TIE were to pick probably something a little more wide open, maybe Cape Blanc Observatory.
Yeah, Cape Blanc, maybe an Eye of Mizra, where you're able to play those like longer ranges.
I would be afraid to go to Crab Sinkhole right now. It just feels too wide open.
Let's go, baby. Called it.
Oh, my God.
Water with a Narukami MVP, 11-0-10. I mean, that's pretty
nuts.
much speaks for himself. 2 aces? Okay, I've gotten like 1 ace in the entire time I've played Mecha Break. This guy just dropped 2 in 1 match.
You just got to play Narukami.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's good.
Laura with the, I mean, stacking it up there on Narukami.
Taking a look at our highlights from this match. It is a LUNABREAK highlight reel, and I will fully acknowledge that this was a very aggressive way to play Welkin. Normally I see Welkin, and granted it's because we've been playing with Riv. Yeah. Normally I see Welkin sit on the objective.
Riv is the king
of
Welkin boxing the objective.
Yeah. He's like, no, you don't mess with me here. That was not the case here. This was Welkin boxing the enemy's objective and just over and over and over punishing Tai for even daring to think they could push the cart.
Yeah, and, you know, having that Welkin come in, bring the disruption, where Laura's on the flank of the Narukami, picking off the enemy backliners. I mean, this is just LUNABREAK really running the table. Like, felt like they were in control of the entire map all at once, which is it's really hard to do in Mecha Break, right? Like, it's one thing to have your position that you've set up, you're ready to fight in. It's another to be simultaneously capturing your own objective while also fighting elsewhere on the map and succeeding at both at the same time. Speaks to the real difference, I think, between these two teams and how strong LUNABREAK is. Their aspirations to probably not just go far in this tournament, but really, I think a team like this wants to win it all.
Yeah. On the verge of lifting the trophy. Am I reading this right? We could be going to Grayson.
Grayson Sky City. I can't read Chinese, but I got to tell you that looks like Grayson Sky City.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the next match, and not just like a pretty graphic. It could be a pretty graphic. We got a lot of those.
I feel like we're going to Grayson Sky City. In many ways, that might make sense. You know, for Team Tai, it's like, you know what? All right, when it comes to like the objective, the preparation, maybe LUNABREAK, maybe they're a little bit too hard to beat. Like that, I actually think this makes sense. Like, let's take it to a deathmatch style. Maybe you know, Team Tai can bring out something really different and make this more on their individual skill. We know individually they are strong players. LUNABREAK probably has the advantage in the chemistry, the coordination of the squad, being together for longer, being a champion of a previous tournament.
I want to be clear. I am not hating. But I do think that if you don't kill them a single time and you go to deathmatch, it's going to be rough for you.
Look, let's be honest. Everybody saw map 1. We all know this is not looking good for Team Tai. We know they're in a tough spot here, backs against the wall. Down 1-0 here in our second match of the day. If you're just joining us, we're at a massive 16-team double elimination bracket. So teams that lose here, they're going to have a second life. They're going to have another shot. But teams like LUNABREAK already coming out to a clear favorite here is going into Graceland Sky City. They want to clean this up 2-0. They want to make it clean. But what striker ban are they going to take to accomplish that?
Well, we know it can't be Luminate, can't be Inferno. Narukami actually is
Fair
a really
enough.
heads up. That's a good ban.
You got kind of dominated by it last game, and LUNABREAK is just the Stego ban. Okay.
Interesting.
And so for LUNABREAK, I mean, Stego is really, I think, a critical element. We saw in that last series of Reject versus MDY, the, you know, super grouped up turret deathball. Stego is the one who has that smoke that denies enemy targeting, that regenerates the fluid armor of allies around. And so I think without Stego, it's much harder to full commit into that deathball strategy. And so I think we're going to see a little bit more mobility, a little bit more of that focus. And Mecha exists on the Falcon, Aquila as well, coming out for Laura. So yeah, you banned the Narukami. Okay, let's see what he can do on the Aquila. Something tells me he's going to be pretty good at that one too.
I'm honestly surprised to see LUNABREAK still picking Tricera. If Stego's already banned, and you're not going to be opting into the super tank unkillable strat, I think you could just go Elisnes here and be just fine. But
it's a good point. You have no tanking at all. I do think the Tricera is just kind of pretty ridiculous, even on its own.
Yeah.
Also, the Inferno comes out for Yui, so I'm really excited to see Inferno get in. I mean, this is our newest striker in Mecha Break, so one that many players may not have seen yet. And so to see a team like LUNABREAK show what's possible here on the Inferno, I'm excited to see what Yui brings to the table here on Graceland Sky City.
Now, this is not the person who's typically been playing Inferno on LUNABREAK, at least during the scrims. I know that they've been alternating a little bit, but last I saw it was Azuria that was actually playing quite a bit of Inferno. Very interesting to see that Yui is the one doing it right now, and I wonder if this is a Graceland Sky City thing, if it just comes down to Azuria wanting to play something else and maybe having a pocket pick that works well.
I think these guys are probably feeling pretty confident after map 1, so won't read too much into it. Team LUNABREAK, they're feeling themselves. Want to win clean 2-0 here in the first round of this double elimination tournament. Mecha Break Global Pre-Launch Invitational continues. And LUNABREAK, I mean, I feel like this team is a serious contender. No matter how deep we go, Neku Exist already starting to pour on the pressure here. High ground setup being attempted for the Tricera, but without the Stego, will he even be able to hold this down? Already health bars are dropping quick for Team Tai. I mean, the pressure comes in fast and furious from LUNABREAK.
So we know you're not going to kill Neku Exist because you're just not going to kill the Falcon.
Oh,
in the
yo,
sky.
yo, 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 yo.
Everybody's in the same place, and my brother, Tai, get melted off of this high ground. Inferno especially punishing here, and it's 4-0. LUNABREAK taking a very early lead. They move us up to 5, and it's going to be one last kill. There's only one person on the map for Tai right now, and unfortunately, Rokoku is going to be focused out and likely taken down in short order. It isn't a list.
He can live. He's the one character
You
who can
got
live.
some time.
Nope.
You don't got some time.
No time.
No time.
Okay.
You remember what I said to you yesterday?
So.
When we were talking about Elysnee's lives, and I was like, you can have 4, but you could also have 2.
Instant pops.
Yeah, that's what happens.
6 players from LUNABREAK hard focusing. Let's see the rollout here from LUNABREAK. I mean, how quickly they secured an early advantage in that round. Once again, it's Inferno over the top, and oh my, this is so much damage. Inferno is doing the most right now.
I mean, this is the highest damage striker in the game right now. I'm watching the clock. Jake, I want to see how quick this happens.
It's a serious speed run. Tai in the low ground here, undercover, but still Inferno, Falcon pouring on damage, flanking from all sides. Already the picks go against Team Tai, and there's a difference of class here. LUNABREAK. First pickoff comes through, but I feel like the rest are coming in thick and fast. Inferno over the top, focusing down onto the Tricera. One of the few strikers that has that damage, as you mentioned, to actually attack into the Tricera. And they're just running for the hills on Team Tai, trying to survive. LUNABREAK uninterested in allowing any stragglers to get out. They want to end this one with extreme prejudice. Welkin, the box keeps you alive for just a moment, but that's all you've got.
Nice first hit. And that's going to be Akamane going down.
Oh, what a box on the Illuminate.
Just 2 more kills. John barely gets to see the light of day, and it'll be one more elimination that LUNABREAK need. One more that's surely coming in. Box is available. They've got this on Rokoku, and they pop it right as the Elysnees transforms. That's going to be another burst, and another clean round from LUNABREAK. 2-0, and I forgot to watch the clock.
That was a quick one. That was a very quick one, Dia. LUNABREAK, okay. Team Tai's like, all right. The good news is, I don't think this came down to the little details in the preparation. I think that's the good news for Team Tai. You know, this one may have been hopeless with how ridiculously dominant LUNABREAK just were. How was it shellacking, Dia? There's no other word for it.
It was. And I again, am going to be the one to feed Assault Copium. Because
you're going to need a serious helping after what we just saw.
I mean, I think that having been here for a few days, Tai could absolutely see this coming. They're another Japanese team. They've been scrimming. They've been talking to each other. You know that LUNABREAK are really good. I think you go into this match, and you try to get whatever you can out of it. Now, you got the rest of the day.
You didn't get much.
You can scrim them. You can talk to them about it. You're in lower bracket. You're chilling. You know, just try and make it as far as possible.
Good news is, I don't think LUNABREAK are going to be back in the lower bracket for a while. So, you know, at least for Team Tai, they're safe for the moment.
They are. I mean, these two teams, they know each other. They've been around, like I said, been scrimming, been speaking to each other as 2 Japanese teams. And I think that Tai, they'll have some better matchups in the future.
There's something to be said about a match like that. It's like, you know, maybe that one was never going to go your way. And so you're able to kind of walk off. LUNABREAK, figuring out where to walk.
They got it.
Do they? They're getting there.
Yeah. They're getting it.
It's not quite as smooth as Greystone Sky City was.
Yeah.
But it gets done in the end. Here they are. Your match winners. What a performance from Team LUNABREAK. Looking fantastic here in the Mecha Break Global Pre-Launch Invitational. I mean, that was that whole match was like one round of Greystone Sky City in the last series.
Yeah. That was pretty fire, to be honest. 2 very different looks at how Mecha Break can go, depending on how prepped you are. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, team prep. All right. I feel like just everything across the board. And I mean, I'd like to see the Inferno coming out.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see so much of it. I mean, it's a pretty quick map, but I think we showed what Inferno can do, especially when you ban something like the Stego, right? With Inferno able to pump damage, I think for a team like LUNABREAK, you know, they don't want this like heavy turret composition. They don't really need that. They can, you know, have so much flexibility as a team. If you attack that core meta, where we've seen a lot of Tricera and Stego, and Scram has been kind of a mainstay with how powerful it is, does so much damage, so tanky. If you can throw a ban at one of those and you know, kind of throw the game into flux, that's where a stronger team, more adaptable team, I think has a particular edge here at MechaBreak.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and I do like that Tai, at least with their research, did take out the Inferno in the first round.
Yeah.
I think it was a fair choice, because imagine going up against that in Palm Bay Harbor. I mean, the damage potential is really clear in Graceland Sky City, but when it's laid on you and there's a payload to push as well, you can't even afford to focus on taking out the Inferno. It can be all the harder. So, I mean, best of luck to Tai, because lower bracket is still going to have, like we said, a lot of good for them, a lot that they can achieve. LUNABREAK, I mean, how far can they run this, making games look as quick as they did here?
I'm not gonna lie, this is an early call, but that looks like a serious champion contender there. I mean, not only to win, but to do it in that fashion, to just completely style on your opponents. It could be the case that, you know, maybe there are tougher tests ahead of them. Almost certainly there will be, for them to claim the championship, to claim the trophy here at the Invitational. But I gotta say, for other teams on the same side of the bracket as LUNABREAK, you're not feeling good watching that series. You going up against them next round, you're like, maybe it's Team Rejects. I would assume they're going to be playing in the next upper bracket. I'd be like, that was quick. Not a whole lot of game tape to study there.
I think I'd be grateful that I get to watch it and not live it.
Yeah, fair. You got to go up against them sometime, though, in the upper bracket. If you want to take home that trophy, you're going to have to be willing to challenge a team like LUNABREAK. And I think to mention more on the Inferno pick, it's like, yes, you can attack it with a ban, but in the end, as a team, you know, to go far, I think about like a best of 5, 1 in 5 maps, you're going to be able to ban Inferno. You've got to have an answer for this Inferno, whether you're going to match it yourself, mirror it, and play around it effectively, or you've got some strategic counter to it. You can't fully rely on the ban pick to get you past these powerful compositions, right? The strong strikers are going to come out, and it's going to be the teams that utilize them and also can respond to them that actually end up on top here in the end.
And there are teams that, in the time that we've been here, have practiced Inferno to a degree that I think you actually can challenge on an individual level what UE was able to bring, what anyone from LUNABREAK is able to bring. We've got really strong Falcons, we've got really strong Lumines, we've got really strong Infernos, and it does make me wonder about the, matching up to that over time. Oh yeah.
I mean, these damage numbers aren't that impressive, but think about what's the damage per minute?
Yeah.
Now, that we're talking, because this whole Graceland Sky City was like, what, 3 minutes?
It might be lower.
Yeah. It's like between 2 and 3. It is a world record speed run, probably, honestly, at this level of play. And to do this much damage, this much direct damage, he took 15,000 damage. Nobody shot him, like, the whole game.
Yeah.
15,000 damage is like one shot from Stego.
Yeah, like the single bullet.
It's like a single bullet from a killer or something is going to